I've been telling people for the shape I'm in good shape. See, I had a new knee put in, had a new hip put in, and I had a cancerous polyp removed. And you know what they do for a fractured vertebrae in your back? They glue it together. I came home the next day and drove the tractor. I'm Howard Quimby and I'm a farmer. I'm 86.
Hey, this is Ivan, the filmmaker. That's me on the bottom left, at age 5. I grew up in Marlboro, New York, which is a small town 75 miles north of New York City. My family lives next to Howard's farm, and so I was there all the time as a kid.
I overfed her and she got sick. She wouldn't eat for 2 days. And now, for the last couple of days, I noticed she had diarrhea, and now I'm telling them, don't go over there, Ivan. Come back here. See, you're fighting with danger going over by them.
Despite my boyish tendencies of provoking the cows, the farm has always been a magical place for me. Howard and his wife Phoebe were actually my very first babysitters. I asked Phoebe to tell me what that was like.
I had to not read you a story. You did not want to be read a story. I had to make up a story. It was almost the same one every time. It would take place on the farm.
And so, over 20 years later, I wanted to revisit the story of Howard and the farm.
All this land around Marlboro was settled in the 1700s. Family bought this farm when I was 12, 1940. They had the whole farm for sale for $10,000. The property was cheap in them days. Some of them farmers got 1,000 acres. This is a small farm, about 70 acres. This farm is unique because it's highly diversified. The big crop was grapes, and then we planted peaches, a few tomatoes. We had some sweet corn one year, and we always had blackberries and raspberries, which was a very good crop.
My favorite memory is of the animals. For being such a small farm, Howard had an impressive number of them.
Move back a little, Ivan. Show Elliot.
He's so cute.
I wasn't just in fruit. We had cows, pigs, sheep, goats, and I used to do a little butchering. I know people, they name their animals. I said I never wanted to name anybody I had to kill. Well, everybody that comes here says it's so beautiful, and they come from all countries, and the fellow just said the other day, oh, it's just like Ireland. The green fields and the stone wall fences are probably well over 100 years old. The barns are 200 years old at least. Some are older than others because they weren't all built in the 1 year, you know.
When I see pictures of it, and there's a nice picture on a snowy day, just beautiful. We're the only this type of farm around. And Howard was photographed quite often. He's in magazines, newspapers always interviewing.
I've kept busy all my life. I've kept busy. They say the worst thing you can do is sit down. They say sitting is the no smoking.
But even with this mentality, it's clear that Howard is slowing down. I asked him how he felt about the current state of the farm.
I feel sorry that the farm is growing up in weeds and brush and trees. Everything's been neglected here, sorry to say.
The Quimbys have 4 daughters, and it's not clear if any of them are interested in taking full ownership of the farm. It might get sold, it might be preserved, maybe it'll become developments. No one really knows. But the more time I spent with Howard, the more I realized he's not really upset at all. I was surprised at how accepting and relaxed he was about the fate of a land he spent his whole life working on. There's something kind of beautiful in that.
I'm not too nostalgic for it. Everything comes and goes. When I'm gone, I don't care what happens to it. I can't take it with me, and they say it's not a good idea to try to control something from your death. Let my daughters do what they want with it, whatever's advantageous to them.